We are live. Let me get this started because it takes a minute yeah, I'll Instagram. All right, so we are here live with one of my oldest, and I'm not going to say dearest because that sounds so old. One of my oldest friends. We have been friends since my son was 6 years old. He's 30 years old. So you do the math. So we're talking about today um, about quitting the education profession, aka the teaching profession. And that's what we're talking about today. We have Coach B. Michele. She is one of my closest friends who left the field of education. I can't even remember. It has been so long. And we're going to just have a candid conversation to help teachers who are actually thinking about leaving the field, give you some information, her story, and how she decided to leave and how it's going now, life after teaching, all those good things. So you want to stay tuned. If you're joining live, let me know where you are watching from in the comment section. We're live streaming 3 different places. So wherever, whatever platform you're on, pop it in the comment section and we're about to get it popping. So go ahead, Coach B. Michele.
Well, hello everyone. And yes, like Michelle said, we have been friends for a long time. I feel like Justin is my son too. So I'm just trying to figure out how do I get a 30-year-old. Um, but I will say we met um when I was teaching in Houston. So when I first arrived in Houston, so early in my teaching career, I actually started in education in 1998 in Killeen, at Killeen ISD as a substitute teacher because I was still going to college. I left the University of Missouri and came to Fort Hood to help my family out. My aunt, they have young kids. And I was tired of freezing anyway, so Texas seemed like a good place to be. So I started substitute teaching, and so I will back up a little bit. Even my freshman year of college, I was an education major. So let me say that. So my freshman year of college, I was an education major, so I've always wanted to teach. I say for sure, middle school. Then I changed my mind like most people during high school, and then as I got close to graduating, I was like, you know what, I do want to teach. So I started out as an education major. Then once I got to University of Missouri, and I worked in the education department, I had a work study job. So I had to give me a little coins through college. So I worked in the College of Education, and I don't know, something just something just dawned on me, clicked in my head. You know what? It was like you might want to major in something where you can have a diverse, be able to just, do different things, and I have to go keep going back to school. So to be honest, I switched to social work. So I switched to social work. I actually have a BSW and MSW in social work, but through that, I realized that school social work was something that I wanted to get into. But them jobs are a dime a dozen because nobody quit. Them like the cush jobs. So baby, I wasn't trying to wait till nobody died to become a school social worker. So I went back to teaching. So I was teaching, graduated, started teaching, graduated from grad school, went to University of Houston for grad school. So again, so I have an MSW and a BSW in social work. But in between this time, I'm still in education, doing something, um, and teaching. So I'll even say like I think I had to take a little hiatus also because I didn't pass my certification test the first time around. So I will say that for any people that's still in that process, that mode, don't be too hard on yourself. Try again. Um, so I spent a good close to about 17 years in education, give just about,
Wow, it
and
was that
I
long?
loved it. I will say this that times have changed, and I realize that because I'm kind of back in education, but I'll get into that in a little while. But I in 20, I moved to Atlanta. I look. This is Let me let this be a lesson to y'all. Sometimes it ain't worth the money. Okay. So I actually was making pretty decent money in Houston, but I was on the good old web and on the internet, and I saw a job with in Atlanta that was paying like $10,000 more than what I was making in Houston. But your girl did not fully do all of her research. I'm just gonna be open and honest about that because I did not know the state of Georgia had all them taxes. So by the time the property tax, the sales tax, all of that, the cost of living, it ate up my little $10,000. So I might as well stay myself right back in Houston with my friend. But so I actually ended up going to teach in Abu Dhabi. I taught there for 4 years. And this is where the entrepreneur bug really bit me while I was over there. So by day, I was a teacher. We actually I only really worked like 4 or 5 hours. So the kids that went to school at 7:30 and they got out like at 12:30. So that was the best part of teaching over there. So I was like home back on my couch about one something. So that pretty much I had the whole rest of the day. So I started doing events and promotions. So I'm teaching daytime, nighttime promoter. So we're doing yacht parties, mansion parties, all type of stuff. And this is let me back. This is 20. I left Atlanta in 2009. I left Atlanta in 2009. So this is 2011 where I started. I got a couple other my teacher friends on board, and we started, doing these events. The name of our company was Black Eye Events. I'll have to tell you that story later. You can come over to my page and I'll share that story with you. Um, but so we were started doing that, and even through education, I was always the teacher that was planning the birthday parties, the Sunshine Club, and all of that. So I was always the event planner, even during, at well, I know I taught elementary. Let me say that. So I taught elementary and middle school, um, sixth grade, middle school. That's where Michelle and I met, in Sheldon. Um,
Yep.
but typically, I was a person like, hey, we're doing the birthday thing, or let's gather for this. So I was always the event planner in the group, or at our school. So it wasn't like it was just random. So the whole Abu Dhabi situation just pretty much lended an opportunity for me now to make some money, and do something else that I love as well. So just through those planning those events, learning, especially starting a business in another country, let me tell you, it is. Y'all think being an entrepreneur, look, being an entrepreneur in the U.S. ain't no joke, but try starting one in a whole nother country. Um, different rules, all of that stuff. But I had a good run, and so when I decided to come back to the U.S., I felt like I gave all I could give the education. I felt like so 2013, so a good solid 15 years if you counting my substitute time. So a good solid 15 years at that point, I realized that I wanted to see what else life had to offer. And I knew that I was more than just a teacher. Um, so when I decided to leave Abu Dhabi, I actually launched my first company. I launched it in Abu Dhabi before I left, called Be Michelle Event. And so when I came back to the U.S., we did event planning, personal events, so like the weddings, anniversary parties, things of that nature. So that's what kicked off the Be Michelle brand. Um, in that space, you want me to talk about anything in specific, or
Yeah, but I wanted to kind of what led up to, like, we have teachers in this space, and like you mentioned, education has changed. The whole landscape has changed. Never I started, like you said, you started teaching 98, I started 99. Never have I seen so many teachers dissatisfied with education. So were you in that space or in that kind of headspace when you said, okay, I'm done?
so I have to be honest in this space. So teaching in Abu Dhabi, like honestly, I would have stayed a little longer than 4 years. I really left for personal reasons. But what I did know is that I wasn't going back into the classroom in the U.S. because I knew the shenanigans that was waiting for me. And some of my colleagues that taught in Abu Dhabi with me that came back to the US to teach, they ain't last long. They did not last long. So I knew the whole thing with, the lesson plans, the observations, the random observations, and not getting any support from admin was still waiting on me when I got back. So I was like, no, I can't, like, I'm gonna be honest, although I'm kind of doing it now, but at that time, I just don't think I could do full-time teaching and start a business. So because that opportunity working in Abu Dhabi afforded me the opportunity to save a lot of money, I was blessed to be able to launch my company with with some capital that I had saved up, from teaching in Abu Dhabi for 4 years. But yeah, I knew what was waiting for me. I mean, I'm still friend. I mean, I still have, as far as Facebook and social media, I'm still keeping up with my teacher friends from Houston and Atlanta on social media, and they still crying that same cry. Now, some of them are administrators, so I hope that they are doing better than their administrators did for them. Because some of my friends are now administrators. I'm not gonna say no names, uh, but some of my friends are administrators in Texas and in Georgia. So I do hope that they're better administrators than what they had and what we had. But here's the thing, I don't necessarily, but Michelle, I don't necessarily know if we had really bad administrators. Okay, we had some. I
Yeah,
think I
we
think the
had
issues that
some,
we had
but
some,
not like these.
but not like these. Right. So let me say, I think the time when you and I was that early 2000s, 2001, like we had a lot of autonomy though.
Yeah.
To be honest, we really had way more autonomy in our classrooms than, especially in Galena Park. Like I felt like our team, we had a solid team, so we would handle situations amongst our team. So, but also I will say this: I'm a relationship builder, and still now, even as a business owner, I network. I'm good at networking and building relationships with people. I've always had that skill set, so I really utilize that in building good relationships with my parents. So I never, a lot of the stuff that teachers was dealing with, I ain't really had a problem because me and their mama or me and their daddy was cool in the sense of we could communicate. But I was friends with some of my students' parents. We developed a friendship later, but I set I set a standard at the beginning, but I do understand the struggle that teachers are facing now. It's definitely like I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Michelle and I, when we started teaching, we had the good life. We was a Kanye when we had that good life. Like the struggle is real, where the kids are so disrespectful. You're not getting any help. So I'll say this. So I'm back in education a little bit. A friend of mine is a superintendent at a charter school, and so he asked me to come and help out. So I'm a part-time academic advisor. Now, y'all, I haven't I had a job in 10 years. Now, where I get a W-2 in 10 years. So when I left Abu Dhabi, I left in 2013 and came to San Antonio. So I have not worked for anyone in 10 years. So being back in that space, it was different because, and it's a young staff. Like I'm the oldest person on the campus outside of the middle school principal. I think she and I are about the same age. But from a teacher standpoint, their teaching staff is really young.
And
So
that
I
that
see a
right there will run a teacher off. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not working for no inexperienced principals. I'm not working now. I'll take the young staff, but the inexperienced principals, I'm not gonna do. I'm not.
yeah, yeah, it's I know the high school principal is young, the middle school principal is a little bit older, but she has more years in education as well. So, but that can, and also definitely that can make or break. Like I feel like I love to see, young people really excelling and doing it. I just saw an article on Facebook. I think I forgot what state he was in, but he's the youngest black principal at a school. I think he like 25, 26. And if you can handle it and bring that level of maturity, because like, you never want to place somebody's ability based on their age per se, because everybody come with a different skill set. But you got to see it. You do got to kind of see it through. But I think if it's the management, I think these new principals forgot what it's like to be in the classroom. But here's the other caveat to that: is some of them only been in the classroom 3 years. When you and I was teaching, I wish you would talk about moving up out the classroom without
Yep.
5 years minimum. Like what happened to the 5 and 7 year minimum? Like they promote teachers to principal after 2 to 3 years of teaching.
Yeah.
You don't have no your pedagogy not on point. You don't have the experience, and especially in you in a school with a lot of Title I students, or
And
your
then
school
you're
maybe have a
scared
high
of the
sped
parents.
count.
I've never seen so many principals that are afraid of the parents. The parents and the kids are running the schools. We have, and
Exactly.
that's like, I look, Lord, may she rest in peace, Miss Harmon. But Miss Harmon wasn't finna let the parents play with her like that. And we have that. And this so and they saw they're the principals now are so disrespectful to the teachers, the ones that are actually doing the work. And what aggravates me, and I don't think you and I went through that as much as I see it now. You know, they don't play with me like that. Now I've seen them disrespect these younger teachers, but I don't play with people like that because I don't disrespect you. Respect is a two-way highway, but I've never seen so many disrespectful principles in my entire life. You know, which I think
But I think that I
go ahead.
also that's something, but I think that also goes to like what was their teaching experience like? And who are their mentors? Like, who are these principals' mentors? Is the district providing like really solid training for principals, especially new principals in that year, 1 year to 3 year time frame as a principal? That's I mean, you need to nourish principals at the end of the day. So just like, and I'm pretty sure there's probably some sort of level of meetings and trainings, but like, is it really, really, are you really going hardcore on making sure from a leadership perspective? But here's the thing I also talk from an entrepreneur standpoint, just from the teacher. The moment you accept that teaching position, you are thrust into a leadership role. And it's very important for you to understand what your leadership style is, as well as your teaching style. But definitely more important, your leadership style, because you are the leader in the classroom, and then you may also become a leader around the school and then in the community. So it's very important for teachers to understand their leadership style. That's one training or staff development that I wish a lot of schools would spend money on, is helping teachers develop themselves as leaders as well. Because I think that also helps you, especially if you want to come outside the classroom. If your goals are to come outside the classroom at some point and really be in a upper level leadership role, you need to know what your leadership style is and how you're able to handle people, children, and be in different segments. I don't think we put enough on developing leaders. I'm gonna say it that way. I just don't feel like we put enough into developing leaders as far as the school staff and administration.
True. And I think, like as teachers are looking for other alternatives, because I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, I started building my brand in 2013 when I was in Louisiana. Because I saw a need. It started out with teachers pay teachers, and then it has steamrolled into speaking at conferences, consulting, virtual workshops, which I'm hosting one this weekend for test prep, and supporting outside of the classroom. So, people, as we move forward, because it's not going to get any better, it's not. Teachers are going to leave, and teachers, with my experience, we got one foot, no, we got a foot, a leg, and half our body, or three-fourths of it, is out of the door. We're leaving. So for teachers that are 10 years and you have to do something else, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I am going to leave public education. I'm done with it. And I should have left 5 years ago. But the kids tug at your heartstrings. And I just didn't do it. But I am done. I'm done with public education. So knowing that, and you've already left the classroom, how can a teacher get himself or herself prepared for that mind shift that it takes? Because running a business and really saying, hey, I'm going to step out and do my own thing. And it's not even about not having someone over you, because I don't mind having a supervisor. I don't. But to make you feel, because they are devaluing teachers at an unprecedented rate. So, how do you get your mind together? What are some steps that a teacher would need to take if he or she is looking to step away from the classroom, maybe into entrepreneurship?
So let me also caveat. So what I do now is I took a little pivot. So from event planning, I was in the marketing space a little bit and then landed in brand development. So currently, right now, I'm a brand coach and I do brand consulting. So I've even worked with Michelle on her brand as she was getting started as well. And one of the things that I will say, start early. The joy of starting a business while you got a job is that you don't necessarily have to rush through the business development process. Spend time really researching the industry you want to go into, whether it's a service based or a product based. Like spend as much time researching what's available, what resources are out there. What do you want to bring different? So while you're getting a check and good insurance right now,
Okay.
this is a time for you to start really honing in on the research section of starting a business, figuring out business plan. Start jotting things down. You don't got to come up with a full out plan, but just start jotting things down. Researching other people that's in the industry. Start following them people on social media. Interact with them on social. Comment on their posts, things of that nature. Start surrounding yourself with other business owners. Although you may not be doing nothing right now, but start going to networking events, inserting yourself in those situations where you know business owners are, just so you can start learning the lingo, understanding what other business owners are talking about. Also, so you can get an idea of their pain point. Okay, so that way, as you start to develop what you want to do, you got some idea. It's almost like being a student teacher. The joy of student teaching is that it's not your class, so you don't have to worry about anything. So it's not your class. So you have that. Um, you can take that time as even as a student teacher, you get to see what the teacher's really doing. Okay. So you don't have to worry about the classroom, the grades, but that's your time to learn. So spend this time while you're in the classroom, still working to research, figure out what you want to do, start going to networking events, getting around business owners, build you a little tribe. Even find some other teachers who may want to start a business and you guys, start a friendship, start a cohort, start a tribe, a think tank, start immersing yourself into day-to-day activities with business owners once you get off because you got a 9 to 5 and a 5 to 9. Really, you got four good solid
Ah,
hours. You got 4 good solid hours to be entrenched in entrepreneur life before you got to go to bed and get up for work tomorrow. But and that's really and pick some days. This is not an everyday deal, but pick if you're gonna do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday is gonna be your entrepreneur training days where you're gonna go to networking events, where you're gonna go to workshops. Look at the SBA's website. Them workshops are free. A lot of them are in the evening. So look at what programs are in your city where you can go to free workshops that's in the evening after you get off work and start QuickBooks. Learn QuickBooks. Marketing. Stay tapped in with Michelle from a social media standpoint, from a marketing standpoint. Like she the best at it as far as navigating and marketing your business using social media because it's one thing to just post your pics and your family type stuff on. It's another thing when you're actually posting and having a strategy for our marketing on social media. So being able to tap into people that can help you get in that mindset to where you start posting a little bit different. Um, and so and think of start taking the time to think of a good name for your business. Do some research, see if the name exists already. So this is really your research mode time to get you in that space and also just changing your circle of people.
yeah.
So you might not be able to go to the teacher happy hour, you at the other happy hour with the business owners. Okay. You ain't at Papados, you over there you at the Westin, okay?
Okay.
Um
Yeah.
you with Big Bang Hank and them. So you gotta leave. You might not have to go. You might have to miss a few teacher happy hours. Okay. Um. Oh wow, this is on the floor. You might have to miss a few teacher happy hours. So so yeah. So just know that you just got to do a mindset shift. You might just have to do a mindset shift in that space, but it's a slow grind. So that's another thing. In the words of Nipsey Hussle, it's a sprint, not a marathon. I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you don't feel rushed into it but enjoy, collect, getting while you got to check, do all these things while you're working, so you can start and using that money to invest in your business. So slow roll the money. Start putting, get you an extra savings account for your business. So start putting your 20, 30, 40, $50 away for business related stuff. So to go to workshops, to go to conferences, things of that nature. So I didn't
Yeah.
gave you a lot, but it's a
And you're
process.
right about the whole 5 to 9. Some of the people they always ask me, well, how do you get stuff done? I'm an early riser. I don't go to bed early, but 10 o'clock I'm in bed. Sometimes 9 o'clock, but I am up generally at 4 a.m. every morning. I work on my business before I go to work. And one thing that I can absolutely tell you, like, if you're serious about transitioning from the classroom to something to entrepreneurship, just in general, it takes a lot of sacrifice. You're not going to be happy hour, happy teacher. You're going to be, hey, I need to get home. I got to do this live stream. I have to send out these emails. And thank God for automation. Yes.
Oh
Thank God
yes.
for automation. And you have to find, like you said, find your tribe. When I first started, I was doing in-person workshops, and then I had a tree fall in my house, and then I had to switch to digital and put my business online. So that's how that happened. And I found business owners at the time that embraced me, because generally I'm the only teacher in the group. But here's one of the things. As a teacher, we feel like we don't have anything to offer. We are the cream of the crop. Let me tell you, and I'm gonna give ourselves that applause, because we are the cream of the crop. Because I have been in some business groups, and I'm going to tell you, we fit in. So if you think that, hey, I'm not gonna fit in, what can a teacher do? We can do a lot of things. I have a master's degree in curriculum instruction and technology. I can build websites. I can do all of those things. I can disaggregate data. If you're a math teacher, you know how to break down data. You're going to be perfect with social media metrics. All of those skills that we use day to day,
Yep.
they're transferable. And if you're thinking about leaving, do a skill set analysis. You may need to get some things that you don't have. Because I'm not going to even lie. I wish I was super organized. That ship has sailed. It's my kryptonite. It's a
I know,
daily
right?
struggle, but that's one of the things that you need in business. You have to be organized. It doesn't work any other way. So go ahead.
No, the organization part is key. And I mean, you don't have to be super, super because that's, you got virtual assistants, you got other things, other tools that can help you. Trust me, because I'm the same way, but I make it work. Now, these days, I live by the calendar for the most
Ah,
part. I do have some slip ups, but if it ain't on the calendar, it might not happen.
and
But I have
that's
to ask, look, I asked Michelle, we still doing this at 5? Because I sure forgot to put it on the calendar, but we have been texting back and forth about about doing the interview. But you'll definitely start living by your calendar, um, and setting appointments and things of that nature. But if you feel like you've given all you to give, then it's time to go. Like once you know when it's time to go, but plan it out. I don't advocate for nobody quitting their job and start no business immediately. I do not. That is not very smart. Try to suck it up one more good year. If you got one more good year in you, try to do one more. Just stack your money, teach summer school, get your money up a little more before you dip out. Because and hopefully during the next school year, you're selling or whatever your product or your service is, you're still able to do it after work, girl. And then look, take them little 10 days to stay give you and ration them out, spread them. Look, I was a pro at navigating them 10 days because baby, I do a half a day in a minute. I turn them 10 into 20 half a days. So ration out. Look, do they still give 10 days? Look, I've been out of
Yeah,
school
they
for a
still
minute.
give 10 days, but
Okay.
it has come a long way from when we were teaching. They want to be, instead of helicopter moms and dads, they're helicopter micromanager administrators that micromanage your sick days. and micromanage days. You can't have like, it has turned into an unbearable field. And I hate to say that because I love everything about teaching and learning. But I'm going to be honest with you, I loathe working in the public school system, the politics, the ladder climber, the teacher snitches. And if you're a snitch, I'm talking about you. So we're tired of the brown nosers. And, it just has become an unbearable field. You got teachers that have been teaching all of 1 year. I want to support teachers, support them and do what? Fail? Like we're and I'm oh I've seen teachers are over it. We're over the overzealous principals who want, and it's not enough that you're 3 years out of the classroom and you're in a principal's position and you now want, I want to work at the district office. You don't have enough experience to work at the district office, ma'am, sir. And people like me, I had my administrator certification. Guess what I did? I let it expire because I didn't want to be a part of the pseudo administrator club. I did not want that because they want blind loyalty. And that club ain't for people like me. I'm a free thinker. I'm a free thinker and I'm not an organization chick. So entrepreneurship looks good on me. And if you're like me, because I know y'all out here, so y'all are following me because you like how I say it. So if you're following me, then entrepreneurship is a viable thing. Because I'm not going to lie, I get a kick out of doing my virtual workshops because when I go to school and they say, "Oh, we like what you did," I said, "Well, I got 4,000 teachers on my email list that like it." So it gives you the confidence that you wouldn't have when they trying to browbeat you at school. That's
That
my
is true.
soapbox. You see, that's a sensitive subject for me.
Look, I just want y'all to know that she always been that way, so this ain't no news. I just want to know I've been friends with her for 20 years plus. And that's probably why we friends, because we both go against the grain type of people. Because look, if we could tell you the shenanigans we used to get into, baby, they'd have been fired. Look, we'd have been fired had this been
Yes.
2003 or 4.
Yes. Yeah, because it,
Baby,
it it
we'd have
went down back in the
been
day.
gone. But what I will say this, if y'all don't take nothing else that I have said for this, let me say this, and I don't mean to, if I step on toes, and it is what it is. But if you know that you are not a good teacher and that you didn't do your duties while you was in the classroom, don't start a business because you're not going to be a good business owner.
Right, right.
So
Yep,
if you're a raggedy teacher, you're going to be a raggedy business owner. I'm sorry,
yep.
because there's nobody to there's no micromanager teacher. There's no leader, no coach, no none of that like you got at school. It's all you. So if you don't get up at 5 o'clock or get up at 4 o'clock to send them emails out or set them to set them to go out or whatever you're supposed to be doing, if you was a horrible teacher, you're gonna be a horrible business owner. So get it's the time to get your life. If you feel like you want to take that route and get yourself together, get some workshop, get some training. And I know as a teacher, we're always used to speaking in front of children, but I will say this: consider going to Toastmasters. Although we talk to children for a living. It's different talking to adults. And
Yes,
so that was one thing in the transition for me. Even though I used to do when I was in Abu Dhabi, I was a like a coach for the other teachers. But still, talking to adults is different when you up presenting in front of a room full of business owners. So I do suggest Toastmasters just to help you hone in your speaking skills because a lot of networking events they like you to go around the room, give you elevator pitch and things of that nature. At least going to Toastmasters will help you get comfortable um, with your pitch and establishing your personal brand as a business owner because that's two different things. Let me say that there's a personal brand like Michelle is the Ignited teacher. That's her personal brand. Her business brand is Ignited. So
yes,
my personal brand is the brand coach, Be Michelle the brand coach. My business brand is Be Michelle Branding Agency. So your personal brand goes hand in hand with your business, but they are two different things. And a lot of times people will come into contact with you, the personal brand, before they come in contact with the business brand. Now, I have an online store, and sometimes I just send people to our website. So they don't really get, maybe not, they may not get much interaction out of me, but I need to make sure that website do everything it's supposed to do so they don't have any problem and they can go to checkout. So that's
Yep.
part of making sure on that side that their experience is good. So, making sure that your website is user friendly, everything is where it's supposed to be, or whatever your process is going to be for them to purchase from you. You want to make sure that's smooth sailing. And one of the things I will say is spend a little time deconstructing because customer service is really important. How we talk to each other really matters. You're not happy out with your team. Y'all saying whatever. You got to get your vocabulary up. Okay, you got to be nice to people. Okay, you
Even
got
when
to
they're
be
not
nice to
nice to
people.
you, start honing that with those angry parents and them kids that get flipped with you. Swallow hard and say, "May I help you?"
Yeah, start practicing. They'll start practicing with these parents that's been, that come up and they're doing the most. That's the best practice ever. So because at the end, you're a business owner now. You're expected to speak to people in a certain manner. You want these people to give you money, and in all truth, you have to. Would you give yourself money? Talking if somebody talked to you like that, would you pay yourself? Would you do business with somebody that spoke to you any kind of way? So you always have to think about that from a perspective. You're the business, and your consumers are coming to you for a service. You're providing a service. So teaching is also service oriented. So if
Yes.
you're now just flipping the script a little bit, you are still providing that service, and now people pay you for it. So how you engage with your customer and your clients really matter. It's gonna make or break how long you stay in business, and if you have to go get that job back. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and that is a true thing. You may have to go get that job back. I'm gonna be honest with you, even as I start to make it's kind of like land this plane, I'm descending as I transition out of the public school system. I still want to be a part of education, but not in that capacity. And I'm not even, sold on the whole idea of being an entrepreneur all day. I can teach or do something part time. I just do not want to do it full time. I love teaching and learning. It's the best feeling when my students or a teacher who I'm supporting comes back and say, you know what, that worked perfectly. Because I know what it feels like staring into a black hole. And everything that we do in education, like she said, it's a soft skill that is needed in business. It is. So if you're thinking about making the transition, if you're thinking about, hey, I don't know what to do, start looking at, like I said, first step one, do a skills inventory. What can you do? And I'm going to be honest with you. People ask me, well, how do I get up every day? If you're looking to feel like doing your business, then it's not for you because I have been doing this on the side for a long time. And it makes me happy when I'm able to work in my business. It brings me joy, more joy than teaching is doing at this moment. So I say that, but if you find that you have a passion for something, start cultivating it, like she said, and start looking at how you can monetize it, get your tribe together, start finding like minded people. Baby, happy hour, it's going to be a thing of the past. But while they're happy houring it, you will be happy houring out. While they're still calling you, talking about the same old stuff. This principal done got on my nerves. This, that, third, and that's the stuff. And, unfortunately, some people are lifers in the public school system. And that's fine. That is A-okay. But I do believe that everybody has a path. Yes.
I think my little time in this space about to be up.
Okay. So we're going to end there. If you tell them where they can find you at.
Yes, I'm on Coach B Michelle on social media.
Right. So she's moving
It's
around.
Coach D Michelle on Facebook. Thank you. On Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, all the same.
All right. So thank
Hopefully, it's
you
not too
all
much
for
noise
tuning
out here.
in.
I'm gonna step outside.
If you, I'm live on this platform. I'm the Ignited Teacher. Also, I'm starting a new gig, the live streaming teacher, where I am teaching teachers how to transition from the classroom into hosting their own virtual workshops. So if you're interested in that, hop on over. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook under the live streaming teacher. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all in my next live stream. Bye bye.
Yay! Thank you guys, and be sure to follow me on social.